So let's take a closer look at some of the libraries that come with Twinmotion 2020. So we've got the high-level folder. You'll see that they're divided up into subfolders, as we've said before, with the different things like characters, vehicles, tools, and the user library. And then when you actually click into the folder, you'll be presented with a series of other subfolders. And within those, for example, you've got all the different materials that ship with the product, and you can just drag and drop those into the interface, as we've said before. Now, if you do click more, you can access some deeper settings. You've got things like the texture, opacity mask, luminosity, and also a really cool new grunge texture, which kind of ages things and makes things look a bit more detailed. The luminosity, again, you can slide or you can type these in. That's the kind of overall brightness of the image. And things like the scale, it's pretty obvious. That's just the scale of the texture itself. But mainly what you're seeing there is the grunge, actually. So we also can dig a bit deeper under settings, and we can look at things like bump, glow, metallicness, two-sided, and a brand new X-ray material as well, which we will be looking at in the later video. So that's really cool. Now, we've touched on this before briefly, but if you do drag in a landscape, we're going to take a quick look at this just in case any of your projects demand a little bit of kind of landscape sculpting. So very straightforward. If you select the landscape, you can select a brush diameter and intensity, and basically you can kind of raise or depress the landscape simply by sort of sculpting into the viewport. We've got a few various sort of buttons and settings up on the dock there. To get kind of like different types of sort of shapes of brush, different levels of sort of spike. If you do click back onto the landscape also, you can paint the terrain, and what you can do is essentially drag and drop different textures, if you like, down into the bottom dock, and then you can select those with the brush size and essentially start to paint the landscape. We also have a really good sort of library of plants and vegetation. So we'll kind of take a look at those, and we also got lots of things like object libraries as well, including particles as well. So you can drag in things like fires and fogs, lights, coloured lights, jets, all sorts of stuff. Here we can see we're just dragging in a couple of furniture items, a little bit small on the screen perhaps. Let's zoom into those, sort of check those out in a bit more detail. Just sort of drag those in. And basically you can position them and rotate them and scale them. We'll show you how to do that in a moment. So you'll see one thing I really would recommend when you're learning Twinmotion is just to explore the different libraries. Here we're dragging in some lights, not really going to see a lot of impact on that in a daytime scene, but we will actually kind of explore that as a whole separate topic later. And of course things like the animated humans, while they do look maybe a little bit cartoony, I think they can add a lot of life to the model. And let's face it, a few years ago, doing animated people in your visuals or animations was, well, pretty tricky. So to actually be able to drag those in as individuals, or we've got a bunch of new ones which are called posed people. The posed people are actually pretty good quality. So if you're doing still images, those are the ones to go for. In the animations, then the other ones may be the ones to use. Things like the cars, again, we've got high quality cars, really nice sort of colours of paint, so you can easily modify the car type and the paint colour. So there's quite a lot of flexibility there. And then under the tools libraries, we've got sections. We'll come on to that in a later video. And we've also got things like reflection probes for adding a bit more detail and reflection. A really cool new notes tool, but I will cover those later, and a measure tool. So we're just kind of really showing you in this particular video a little bit more depth into the library. We've got a user library, but there's nothing in there yet, but we will be showing you how to create your own objects and add them to that user library. Okay, so next up we're going to delve a little bit deeper into how to add objects and manipulate them. So we're going to drag in a couple of primitive objects to begin with. Now primitives are quite useful as basic sort of building blocks for modelling. And you can see there's a range of different sizes and types of those primitives. So you can just drag them in and essentially they will snap to the surface you kind of dragged them onto. So we can move them around. We can actually click on the vertical arrow and raise them up and down. And you can see there's a number value that you can actually type in if you want to do it accurately as well. We can actually kind of move them on axis, or we can just click the base plate and move them. If we hold shift down, we can actually move and copy them, so it leaves the original instance, and we can actually make a copy or an instance. So hold shift down, just drag off a copy, and then you get the option to do a multitude of different copies, and you can actually set the spacing numerically as well. So it's very easy in terms of actually duplicating arrays of objects and actually positioning them as well. So basically when we click on them, we can kind of click on the base plate and we can select more than one object together, and again copy those. So if you hold control down on the PC, on the Mac, then you can essentially select them both and you can duplicate them as two objects together. Let's just delete those. Okay, cool. So let's drag in maybe one more object here, and let's kind of just take a look at what else we can do. So if we click on the rotational element, you can see you can kind of rotate the object round. And again, we have numbers on screen, so you could type values in there to get this done nice and accurately. You can also click onto the axis itself and move the object in all directions. So with the rotate tool, the shortcut for that is actually 5. You can see you can rotate in all directions, not just the plan sort of direction. So that's pretty cool. You can sort of full freeform rotation there. We can still kind of move the object in all the directions while we're in the rotation mode. So even though we're in rotation, we can move them as well. And finally, if you click 6, you'll end up going to scale. So shortcut 6 gives you the scale, and you'll see that you can scale in all directions or just on one particular axis as well, depending on where you click and drag. And again, all of these numbers can be edited and typed in numerically just to get a nice accurate, whoops, we went a bit big there. So you see it's very easy to, in theory, kind of get quite accurate levels of control over the size and location of your various objects.